Hey guys, BP Gaming Network here. We're playing Out of the Park Baseball 19 featuring our Oakland Athletics franchise. This is our fifth video, and if you watched our last video, we played out one game in that video against the Angels. That was towards the end of the second week. We also did a little recap of the season so far, showed you how the team performed from week 1 into week 2. So this is the end of week 2, and we're going to do a recap of the week now and just show you where the team is at this stage in the season. And we'll also just go through any transactions that have happened with the team. That's about it for this particular video. So we'll start off by quickly going into a schedule calendar. So you could see the second week started Monday, April the 2nd, and we had a 4-game series there against the Texas Rangers, and we didn't do that well. We lost 3 games, won just 1 game. And then we played a 3-game series against the Los Angeles Angels. Did a little better there. We won 2 games and lost 1 game. The 1 game that we lost was actually an embarrassing game for Oakland. We got shut out and gave up 10 runs. So it was just a complete smash by the Angels offense and pitching staff. You could see here we sent out our ace, Sean Manai, who really hasn't managed to win that many games so far into this 2-week period. He pitched 5 1/3 innings. He gave up 1 run, so he pitched okay. He threw 99 pitches and had a 3.12 ERA. So he only had 4 strikeouts. His strikeout ratio is really quite low so far into the start of the season. I expect to see a little bit better performance there when it comes to striking out guys, because he has the tools, and I mean, he's our ace. He has the potential, and he can throw strikeouts for sure. But nonetheless, he did okay in that game. He was relieved by Yasmero Petit, who went 1 2/3 innings. He didn't give up any runs, gave up just 1 hit. And then Santiago Casilla came in and pitched just a third of an inning. He gave up 1 hit and 2 runs. And then Ryan Butcher came in, and basically things just blew up from there. So it looks like he pitched in 2/3 innings. Gave up just 4 hits, but 7 runs, and 6 of them were earned. And he also gave up 4 walks. You can see his ERA was pushed up to 18.90, and Santiago Casilla's ERA went up to 11.25. So not good news for a bullpen there for that particular game. For LA, what can I say? Vicente Campos was the starting pitcher for LA. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, no earned runs, had a 0 ERA. And then their bullpen came in and took care of the rest of the game. Blake Wood went 1 inning, didn't give up a run. And Jose Alvarez also pitched in 2 innings, didn't give up a single run. And that's basically how that ended. Offensive-wise, you could see the contributors for LA. We got a few guys actually had multiple RBIs. Zach Kozak went 3 for 1, had 2 RBIs. Ian Kinsler played well. At least he contributed 2 RBIs, even though he was 5 for 1. And their catcher, Rene Riviera, who was 4 for 2, contributed 2 RBIs in that game. And then a few other guys played well. So basically, almost the entire team actually played okay. And you could see the effort paid off, because they scored a lot of runs, and we were shut down. There's no need to even talk about our offense, because they really struggled and couldn't get anything against the Angels pitching staff. So that was the last game, which was today, April the 8th, in our season. But overall, it was just mixed results there, with some positives and some negatives. That put us in the last place in our division, in the American League West Division. You can see the number one team now is Texas. They're 8-3, followed by a tie between LA and Houston for the second spot, with a 6-4 record, and then Seattle right there playing 500 baseball with 4-4 record. And they're just 2.5 games behind the leader. And then Oakland is 5-6, 3 games behind the leader. So at the end of 2 weeks, that's our position standing wise. Not doing all that great. We'll give you a better snapshot of the team by using this screen here. So here you could see who are the team leaders in different stats categories. For the batting average, Chris Davis, 429 batting average so far into the new season. Matt Joyce, 286. So those two players are really the bright spot in our offense. The rest of the guys really not making good contact, but it's still early in the season. The team leader for home runs is Chris Davis. He's got 3 already, as expected with the power that he has, Crash Davis. And then he's also a team leader in RBIs with 7. So a few other guys have contributed there, but Chris Davis really is a standout offensive player up to this point in our season. Pitching wise, Andrew Triggs comes through as the main man so far, who's performed really well. He's the leader in wins. He's got 2 wins. He's also the leader in ERA with a 2.45. And then we've got a whole bunch of guys who are tied for the lead position in strikeouts, all of them with 11 strikeouts, four players. So the offense, really a struggle. Pitching wise, slightly okay. We're not doing all that great. So you can see Chris Davis, who's hot. Chris Davis obviously there. Who's not? Matt Chapman really struggled over the last 8 games, and Stephen Piscotty just been struggling again over the last 7 games. He really played well in the first game of the season, and then after that he's just been a no-show. I'm not concerned so far. I mean, it's only the 2nd week. There's definitely some time for these guys to improve and start playing to their actual ability and potential. You can take a look at the remaining pitching staff. You could see where we're doing well and where we're not. Sean Manai with a 3.12 ERA. The leader there is Andrew Triggs with a 2.45 ERA. You could see Manai's whip just creeping up a little bit high. But Andrew Triggs has a nice, decent 1.09 whip. Daniel Mengden, just so-so, hasn't won a game, and lost 1 game on record. He's got a 4.38 ERA. His whip is slightly high. And then Kendall Graveman is the one pitcher who's really struggling in our starting lineup, our starting rotation. He's got an 8.44 ERA, and his whip is 1.88, and that's really high. And that tells you why he's really struggling. He's giving up a lot of hits and walks. Chris Bassett, he's pitched okay. I'm actually quite impressed with Chris Bassett. He hasn't won a game. He's had 2 no decisions, but he's pitched really well with a 3 ERA. And his whip is just a little bit high, but not too bad. The bullpen, most of the guys are doing okay, are pitching well, except for Ryan Butcher, Santiago Casilla, and Emilio Pagan. So that's the roundup there for our pitching staff. Offensively, our catchers, you can see Jonathan Lucroy. He hasn't really played that well, but Really not a lot of concerns from him. The backup though, Bruce Maxwell, has played really well. In 11 at-bats, he's got a 364 batting average. That gives him, he also has a 364 on-base percentage with a slugging of 636. So his WAR is better than Jonathan Lucroy right now. Bruce Maxwell, being the backup catcher, is living up to his potential, I guess. But I'm happy with his performance. The infielders for Oakland are the actual offensive problem. You could see the batting average for all of them is you have only Jet Lowry, who's got his batting average above that Mendoza line. That's really sad. I mean, that's really bad. The rest of the guys, just dismal performance over the last couple of weeks. Nothing alarming yet to start making moves. I think 2 weeks is not enough time to really start to get concerned. Although I'd still want the team to really try and stay above 500 week after week, but we still have a long way to go. The outfielders, we've got a few bright spots there. Chris Davis, Dustin Fowler. He's played well with a 267 batting average. He's not getting on base the way I would want him to. At least something over 320 there would be nice, but he's making good contact. And then Matt Joyce is another one who's playing really well with a 286 batting average and getting on base really well with a 324 ERA. 324 on base percentage. So that's basically it as far as the offense and pitching. We've got some guys doing okay in our offense, but the bulk of our offense is really struggling. If we take a look at the team information just to see how we look in some of the stats. So when you look at how we're playing at home, our record is 3-5, so we're not really playing well at home, and but we're actually doing a lot better when we're playing on the road. We got a 2-1 record, and the rest of the stats, really the only thing that stands out is we're playing better against right-handed pitchers, but we're struggling against lefties. So again, the takeaway there is it's still early in the season to really start to start panicking and making moves yet. If you look at our batting stats as we rank them against the rest of the league, the American League, offensively we're basically almost last in every category, if not close to last, except for maybe the walks there. Based on balls, we've got 31, which puts us in fifth position in the American League. Extra base hits, we're getting extra base hits with 28. We're in 7th position in the American League. And then hits, we're making some hits, we're getting some hits, 83, which is good for 8th position. Well, not that great of a position, but not as bad as the other categories. Pitching wise, you could see the pitching staff is performing a lot better compared to the offense. The total team, the overall team average is pitching average is 4.06, which is good for sixth place in the American League. The starters ERA is 4.12, which is good for 7th spot, and the bullpen is 3.96, which is good for 9th in the American League. So better numbers there, better averages in our pitching side. Not great, but overall not really that bad. We'll take another quick look here, our minor league system. So the season started for our AAA, AA, Advanced A, and Single A. For AAA, the team has got a record of 3-1 so far, which is awesome. AA, they're playing at 500 with a record of 2-2. Stockton Ports, our Advanced A, they've got a record of 3-1, which is great. And Beloit Snappers, our Single A, they have a very good start to the season. They've got a record of 4-0. They haven't lost a single game so far. which is great to see. Upcoming games for the next week. We've got some exciting matchups. We've got the Dodgers coming. Where are we? We are going to Dodgers Stadium to play against the Dodgers in a 2-game series. And the first game we get to see Clayton Kershaw, which is exciting. I like Clayton Kershaw. He's one of my favorite pitchers in the MLB. And then the next series will be a 3-game series against the Mariners. We are traveling to Seattle. First game we face off against Felix Hernandez, which is exciting as well. We'll also see Mike Leake for Seattle and Marco Gonzalez in the last 2 games of that series. So I think exciting games coming up. We'll see how we fare in those games, especially against Seattle, because they're in our division, and we definitely want to play better against Seattle. As far as transactions, I'll mention the injuries. I already just hinted that we've got Liam Hendriks, who's got forearm soreness. He's listed as just day-to-day, so he's not on the DL. We also have Ryan Butcher, who's got sore shoulder, just a moderate injury, could last about 2 to 3 weeks, but he's also not on the DL, listed as day-to-day. So we'll still play those guys from time to time, but we'll probably limit Ryan Butcher a little bit, just because his injury is moderate, not minimal. And that means if pushed too much, he could be out completely. So the rest of the injuries have been there either since the start of the season, except for Boog Powell, who got injured in that first week of the season, and he is out for 8 weeks. So he's on our 60-day DL. We also made some transactions with our minor league system. We signed 4 players from our international complex. These are players who were discovered by our scouting system and from international leagues, or just from the international system. The first guy we brought in was Jose Bonilla. He is from the Dominican Republic. He's a right fielder who can play left and right field. We got this guy just because he, and I'll mention this, that when you're looking at guys who are 17 who don't have a history of playing in the league as a pro, you're really only looking at their potential, which is their raw potential. And so whatever you can glean from that, if you see a silver lining or something that just looks like a maybe, it's worthwhile bringing these guys onto the system, get them into our farm system, and try to develop them and see what you can get out of them. So it doesn't really cost anything, doesn't hurt us at all. It's a nice, cheap way of getting good talent. So we brought in Jose Bonilla. I'm not expecting a whole lot from him, but definitely want to give him a chance, a rookie system, and see how well he does. See if he can develop and become somebody who we can move up the ranks and maybe hopefully even into a major league. The other guy is Daniel Bautista. He's athletic. As a shortstop, he was listed as a second baseman, but his ratings truly were better as a shortstop. So we brought him in. He's going to play in our Arizona Rookie League. Again, we'll see how he develops. There's really not a lot to look at except maybe some slight potential that I saw with his power at a young age. Having that type of potential for power, it could mean something is there. We don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see. He's 17 years old. Also, let's see, where is he from? He's American. So yeah, we'll see how he plays out. The other guy is Gabriel Delgado. We brought him in from Venezuela. He's a starting pitcher who has some bright spots. If you look at his fastball potential, it can get into the plus category or above average. His curveball could be in the plus category. His stuff, which I'm excited about, is could be a potential above average stuff, which is great. And just below average potential so far with his movement and control. So to me, these are good ratings to start with. Slightly okay potential there. Worthwhile having him in our rookie system and see how he plays out there. So excited to have him. And the other guy we brought in was another starting pitcher, Wilkin Ramos. Got him from the Dominican Republic. He has some decent potential as well. You can see his stamina at this young age of 17. Definitely a starting pitcher potential there. He only has 3 pitches, but he could develop a 4th pitch. So borderline bullpen starter. I currently feel he could be a future starter, so that's always exciting. It's difficult to find pitchers because a lot of them just phase out in the minor league system. So whenever you can bring in pitchers, it's good. Bring in as many as you can, try to develop them, and then pick from that crop and get the best potential talent and continue to develop those guys. So again, we're just all these guys are starting out in our rookie league, and so we'll try to develop them and see how their ratings and potentials look maybe after a year or so. So yeah, that's the major changes we've made to the team so far. We also had Ryan Dahl who came out of the DL, and we didn't have a spot for him on the bullpen, so we optioned him out to the AAA Nashville, where he will start the new season in AAA, and he's definitely a guy who can pitch, so he's a good backup to have for our bullpen in case we kind of run into injuries or we have guys who are really not pitching to potential. We've got Ryan Dahl in AAA that we can call him up. He has 2 options left on him, so that's great news. That's really it as far as an update. I mean, that's just a weekly update. We'll do more weekly updates every week, at the end of every week, and just show you guys where the team stands at the end of each week, and show you what kind of changes we've made to the team, as well as we'll also play out some games in between the teams and show you guys those games. So it's a short video. Thanks a lot for sticking with us. Thanks for watching, and we really hope to see you on our next video. If you have comments, suggestions, please feel free leave us any comments that you have. It doesn't matter, positive, negative, it doesn't matter. We're glad to hear from you guys, and appreciate you guys watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.